Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. That comes from the third book of John, chapter 2, verse 1. Hey guys, my name is Clark Bartram, and I've been in fitness for 30 years, and I've been a Christian since 1989, and I've learned a whole lot about both of those worlds, and most of that is how we as Christians treat our body with the food that we eat. So I want to share some things with you today that I've learned over the years. Now let's start with that scripture in John. Now, the Lord shows us that He absolutely cares about the way we as Christians maintain our health. Do you agree? Yes or no? Okay. So there are some biblical tips that I'm going to share with you today to show you how to have a healthy body, the way God wanted you to have it. Now, I'm also going to show you how modern science has actually validated God's wisdom in creating these nutrition principles for us, and how you can start using God's wisdom to lose your belly fat starting today. Now, I do have a system that I created, so if you want to jump to that, you can head over to a video that I created to see these nutrition principles based upon God's laws. All you have to do is go to spiritualfatloss.com, and you can see those videos right now. So let me first start with a verse to help older men like us stay healthy. So whether you eat, drink, or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. That's 1 Corinthians 10:31. Now, here's where it's going to get a little hard for some of you, because I'm going to be very bold. But listen, it's for the sake of your health and your family's health, because you are an example to your kids. It's about gluttony. And here's what I've learned in 30 years of being in the fitness industry and being around Christians in high-profile ministries. Gluttony seems to be a sin that goes ignored by most Christians. Ignored. Most people don't even think about it. But here's the truth. Most Christians are quick to label smoking and drinking as sins. But for some reason, gluttony is accepted, or at least tolerated, and I don't have a clue why. Now, many of the arguments used against smoking and drinking apply equally to overeating. But many believers would not even consider having a glass of wine or smoking a cigarette. No way. But they have no issues whatsoever about gorging themselves at the dinner table. So let me talk about alcohol for a second. Now, I'm not saying to stop drinking entirely. But listen, alcohol contains sugar. Sugar is very addictive, more addictive than heroin or cocaine. And here's the truth. It's going to cause you to gain weight, in addition to a whole lot of other health issues. Now, my recommendation would be this. However much alcohol you drink today, just try and cut it in half. It's that simple. Okay? So here's the next verse that I want to shed some light on. A merry heart does good like a medicine. You can go to Proverbs 17:22 and look it up for yourself. Now, this one is plain and simple. Staying happy can be just as important as eating clean. And this is also supported by science. So don't think of this one in terms of a religious belief or anything like that. The general state of being happy has been proven to improve every aspect of a man's life. Simply put, when you're happy, your body releases what's referred to as the happy hormone, otherwise known as serotonin. Now, that is what gives you the feelings of euphoria, abundant energy. Your entire body and your mind is elevated when you're producing the adequate amounts of serotonin. So the fact of the matter is this. Modern scientists now understand this biblical verse has real scientific evidence. And the crazy part is this. Listen to me for a second. You, my friend, have the control over which hormone your body produces. This means it's up to you, man. You're either going to decide to think positive or negative. What's it going to be? Now, I want to finish with this scripture. Put a knife to thy throat if a man be given to appetite. That's also in Proverbs 23:2. And I believe it was King Solomon that said these words. And it's probably because as a king, he knew how damaging overeating could be. Parties, everything he wanted. So here's the reality of that. Overeating causes diabetes, heart disease, and sometimes even cancer, and a host of other things that you don't want in your life. Physical appetites are an analogy of our ability to control ourselves as Christians. Now, if you're unable to control your eating habits, we're probably also unable to control other habits, the ones in the mind. Things like lust, anger. You're not able to shut your mouth, stop gossiping and strifing and things like that. So, not to let our appetites control us, we have to control our appetites. I know it's a hard thing to do, but it's possible. Otherwise, God wouldn't have said it was. The ability to say no to anything in excess is simply self-control. It's one of the fruits of the Spirit that's common to all believers. Okay, so here's the truth. I've dedicated my entire professional career to showing men just like you that you can enjoy the best food that this wonderful world has to offer to us. And here's the truth. You can probably eat more of these foods than you would ever imagine. So here's what I want you to do if you want to learn more. Go to my website, spiritualfatloss.com, and you can learn more about the system that I developed for you. It will enrich and uplift your mind and your body and your overall health and allow you to maintain in incredible shape the way that God intended you to live. So here's what I want you to do right now. Just head over to my website to see how you can reach your true potential and be a good steward of your body like God intended. And I look forward to seeing you there.